Hi, this is Ashley Victoria Robinson coming to you from the Pop Spot here at C2E2, and I am with the man, the myth, the legend, John Rhys-Davis. John, thank you so much for joining us.
Wonderful to be here, Ashley.
How is your C2E2 gone so far?
Wonderful. It's lovely to be back in Chicago to begin with. I filmed here many times, and I think I spent about a year and a bit here doing a television series called The Untouchables.
I'm familiar.
And all my old friends in the police force, guys, I miss you all, and thank you for looking after us so well. And to all my fellow actors who might still be here, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a huge theater town.
Yeah, of course.
You have a lot of theater experience. You've played a lot of iconic roles. Are there any great theater roles that are still on your docket? Can I bully you into playing Prospero?
Love to.
Oh, I want it so bad.
Love to. Well, what I would like to do is take a one-man Shakespeare on the road, but I only will do that when no one else wants to work with me.
So never.
Well, no, that's not true. But I think an actor should die working.
Yes.
You know. But I still have some unfulfilled ambitions. I would like to go into space, and
NASA. I see.
And there's much exploring on Earth that I really feel impelled to do. I mean, I've driven in South America, obviously, Canada, United States, backwards and forwards. I grew up in Africa, so I know Africa, really, North Africa down to Egypt, and then virtually the whole of East Africa and South Africa. So come on, what have we got here?
You please read them for
John
me.
Rhys-Davies, how much swag of the characters you played on screen do you own? I belong to a generation of actors that didn't actually steal the props and didn't eat the on-set food as well.
That's a good note, though, just as a life skill, because that food sits out for hours,
Yes,
and it's terrible by the time you're actually able to eat it.
Yes, indeed, yes.
You don't have any action figures of your characters?
What?
You don't have any action figures of your characters?
Only the ones I've been given.
How many Gimlis do you have?
People knit me Gimlis.
Really?
I've got a wonderful set of knitted Gimlis, and one or two tiny little ones that I hang on a Christmas tree.
Aww.
Because obviously Gimli and Santa Claus are very distantly related.
And the beard.
And it's the beard thing, yes, indeed. All right, where do you channel the energy for the likes of Gimli and Sallah? Well, it's got to do with the joy of life, hasn't it, really? And, the greatest joy and happiness really is doing things. In fact, let me give you young Americans a lecture. When Jefferson wrote your Constitution, he wrote, "Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." Glorious. Completely misleading. Happiness is not a destination. You don't pursue happiness. Happiness, as the great Aristotle himself said, happiness is a byproduct of virtuous activity. If you want to be happy, do something good and do it hard. Do it actively. And then you will go home tired and exhausted at the end of the day, and you'll sit back and think, oh God, I was going to use a rude word there.
Do it.
Great.
Well, of course Locke isn't going to have happiness in there because he's the Eeyore of philosophers.
Well, you are Europeans, don't forget.
Yes.
American history doesn't just begin in 1776. You have the entirety of the English common law and that English inheritance alone. And you've accreted also the history of the Dutch, the French, the Germans, the Italians, and other cultures and other peoples as they've come in. The Spaniards. Wonderful. Yours is a very rich history, but it doesn't begin in 1776.
No.
All
Despite
right.
what Boston would have you believe.
Right. You are Welsh, and you speak and I speak the incredible language. Can you teach me how to say I love C2E2 in Welsh? First of all, I don't speak Welsh. My parents were bilingual and always spoke Welsh to each other. But when I was born in England, but when they found I was being mocked for my Welsh accent, they stopped speaking to me in Welsh. If I was going to live in England and be successful, I had to speak the language of the Sais. Now, what's this Sais thing? Saesnig is Saxon. That's the long memory of the Welsh people looking back at the people who conquered them, the Saxons. Saesnig. And of course, if you go to Scotland, they talk about the English as being Sassenachs. Saesnig, Sassenach.
Same root.
Same root.
Yeah.
Also,
Tolkien loved the Saxon history, which is why he uses the word queer a lot instead of strange, because strange is étrange, which is French, which is Roman.
Yes.
Like his language is so interesting in that same way.
And of course, Lord of the Rings is written as a pre-Arthurian myth, and it's a glorious attempt. He had a wonderful child's mind of heroes, honor, right and wrong. He had a very strong moral code. He knew why he was fighting in World War I. He was fighting World War I because the Germans intended world domination, and as they did in World War II too. And that is part of their legacy, coming from the wars against Napoleon, which really brings together all the Germanic people. All this will be explained to you at some length in a marvelous film that shortly I hope to finish and get made.
Called?
Don't hold your breath. Right. Okay. Do I prefer voice acting or acting in person? Voice acting is very interesting, particularly when when you've got Robin Williams on the other end of the of the thing. But I suppose real acting is being in the company of your fellow actors. There are times you can't do that. I mean, in Lord of the Rings, they did the scenes with my small double, and I came in the evenings, and there was a bit of playback, or the script girl would read to me, and I do that. And in film, you can do that. I mean, there are actors I know who refuse to do a scene with another actor, so you have to shoot them. You get the doubles in just for the shoulders and overshot, and do it that way. But it shouldn't happen.
That's the way to do it. That's efficient.
All right. You did a ton of work before moving into the nerd space, but I'd love to ask you what the difference is between working on fantastical roles, you're most famous for, and preparing a performance for the stage. Rehearsal time is very, very important if you're going to work on the stage. And I've done a lot of good stage work at the Royal Shakespeare Company, and the great thing about working for the RSC, or the National Theatre, is that there are always one or two actors who have gone into a sort of a crystalline stage. They're no longer really at the point of their life where they're being endlessly creative, though they can come through that and come out of that. But at the RSC in Stratford, there will be at least half a dozen actors on the stage who are hungry. And when you're doing those great Shakespearean history plays, you want hungry actors, because these are dangerous, bullying men, fighting over the bones of England. And, we would come on when we were doing the Henry VIs. We would come on and we'd look around, and suddenly someone would just flip a line out in a different way, and you get it and go, all right. And you bat it to the next guy, or bat it back to him, and you feel the chill in the theatre coming down. as these. Send me your prisoners with all speedy means, or you shall hear from me in such a kind as will displease you. Send me your prisoners, or you'll hear of it. And the audience is that was really bad, by the way.
No, it wasn't.
And you feel the audience leaning forward in their seats, and you come off and you hug each other.
What's your favorite Shakespeare history? Is it Henry VI?
I think Henry IV Part 1 is the greatest. Mm-hmm. It's probably one of the great plays of all times. When I was a schoolboy, I was lucky enough, you wouldn't be allowed to play Othello.
Yeah.
And that was wonderful because I was nearly 18 and very much in love, and I was losing her. Oh, dear me. Oh, dear me.
Nothing meatier to play.
Nothing. Yeah. And I did Troilus and Cressida when I was at school.
An underrated Shakespeare.
Yes, indeed.
Very good.
Remarkably good. And by the way, the best dramatization of the Helen of Troy story, I think, is the one that I had the honor to be in, though I only play Priam,
He's only the king of Troy.
Well, he's only the king of Troy, but the real story is about his boys.
Yeah.
And that was we did in 2004, and the only recorded version I can find is in Germany.
Okay.
But Sienna Gilroy is Helen, and Stellan Skarsgård is in it, but it's also dealing with that first abduction of Helen as a little girl by Theseus, isn't it, or somebody like that?
Yep, one of the heroes.
And she just had that youthfulness and that wanting just to live a life, but cursed with real beauty. I mean, I know most women would say, I'd love to have that curse.
You'd think I'm going to start a war over this woman.
Right, what else? So, any great stage roles?
I asked you that. I bullied you about
Come
Prospero.
on, you want to do that now.
Here, let's do this one, because this one is going to make all the men jealous. You're an iconic James Bond ally in License to Kill, one of my favorite Bond movies. Would you like to reprise your role or rejoin the James Bond franchise? Because now Amazon has it. Now they're going to expand the whole universe. The Broccoli's are out. Amazon is in.
That the Broccoli's are out is a tragedy for film.
I agree.
Cubby Broccoli was a great Italian prince of a filmmaker. Wise, shrewd, hard, tough, judicious, a great father. And that wonderful setup they had there was really very, very good. I think every Bond lover worries a little bit about the new management. So it's up to the new management to show that they can come up with the compelling stories and the compelling characters. Yes, it would make sense for them to bring Pushkin back, particularly in this time. But he's obviously now a very much older man, and probably sidelined by Putin, but probably with still fingers in that in that pot.
He's a survivor.
I think all intelligence men, all the ones I've known, though they're long departed from the service, are still capable of saying, have you ever thought that somebody there might just be of interest? Just like that. Which for any younger MI6 man or something like that would go, what's he saying? What's he saying? I have a friend of mine who is an ambassador, and we were talking about an ex-ambassador, and he said, whenever I went to an embassy, I could look around. He said I could always pick out the MI6 people and the intelligence people, because they were always so much brighter than the embassy staff. I didn't say that.
No.
I did not say that. It's artificial intelligence which made me say that. You can't believe a thing I say because, the Russians.
Well, I mean, this is the internet, so nothing is real. It's all pretend.
And that's one of the tragedies, because very soon nothing will be real.
That's very, very true.
This interview will be parsed into being, I do believe that Chairman Z is right, and he should be here. Bringing order bringing a new world order in. All that is going to happen.
Or the real chaos monsters will turn this into our wedding.
Oh yeah.
And it will start a whole new reality.
Yep.
On the internet.
And that's one of the many things. Artificial intelligence is a societal threat of such a scale that we almost don't need to worry about it being an existential threat. So, one last question.
Yes.
When do you go back to Canada?
Yes.
And why?
I go back on Monday.
You do?
I do, because I have to renew my passport. So that is when I'm going back.
Do you know, I suppose you would still have to do that, but they're now going to do something with airline tickets and airline travel where you don't have to you don't have to present passports and boarding cards anymore. It's all going to be in the system. Right, until the system breaks down, and then where are we?
Yeah, It's going to be all biometrics and face scans.
Thank you for having me on your show. You're a wonderful person.
Thank you,
I love
John.
you and adore you.
Let's do it again sometime. Let's do
Yes,
it in New
indeed.
York. Your hands are so warm.
All right. And yes, I'd love to play Prospero.
I want you to play Popverse.
Yes.